Oh, we're live. We did it. Yo, when I tell you, YouTube is acting up. I wasn't sure that we were going to be able to go live here, period, because the freaking link didn't want to work. My own link to my own live, and it wouldn't work. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm going live on 2 different platforms. We have Instagram on the right, on my right, and YouTube on the left. I'm lighting a banish candle because clearly this energy is wackadoodle right now, and I'm over it already. Oh, Lionsgate. Yes, Lionsgate Portal Day. Totally forgot that. Okay, K Love says you prefer us here or YouTube. Definitely, if you're on the Instagram platform, migrate over to YouTube because I'm going to be talking to them more often. Look at that. Did you guys see that? Did you see that candle burn? Did you see it pop? Yeah. Divinely Love says YouTube is rebelling against spiritual people. It absolutely 100% is. So, but I'm prepared, you guys. I Pierce's energy is whacked out for you and I both. 100%. Let me just do this really quickly. I'm not trying to come on here live and just be completely open to the energies. So if you're watching on Instagram, feel free to migrate over to the YouTube platform because I'm going to be talking to my YouTube family more. And if you're live on YouTube, if you're hanging out with me here on YouTube, then welcome. You guys are going to be my focus. So yeah, Ashley says IG has so much better lighting. There's also a filter on IG as well. Taylor says I'm here from IG. Welcome. Ashley says YouTube is so much more aesthetically pleasing. That's because it's the filter. Sorry, this is just the way that I look. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Andrina says, I miss you. I missed you more. Arizona Raven says, hello, hun. Okay. Divine Insight with Jamie says, hi, honey. Divine love, protection, and healing for you all. Thank you, my love. I really appreciate that. That contribution is great. Christella says, I'm here. I'm glad that you are. Wildwood Fairy says, I love the lighting. Oh my God, Jess, you're gorgeous. Girl, thank you. Okay, Divinely Insight said, Jess, you're gorgeous either way. Thank you, my love. Okay, Fairy Winkle says, I hopped over from IG. I hope you're having a great day. So far, so good. It's been a little while, but we're here. Okay, I missed you, Jess. I missed you more. It feels really good. This is our second Astro Chat Live. For those of you guys that don't know, Astro Chat Live is the time where every Monday I come on, I connect with the community, and we go live to talk about the astrological transits and everything that's going on that week so that you can be prepared, so that you can plan and move forward with a lot of strength, not only spiritual strength, but logical strength, just knowing what's going on in the planet so you can make those energies work for you and not against you. I have always believed that there is no such thing as a negative transit. If you know what you are working with, if you understand the energy of those planets, they won't come back and get you in a head grip. They won't get you in a vice. And to be 1000% completely honest with you guys, this week is going to be wild when it comes to the planets, astrological planets. I do not sugarcoat ever, nor do I come in and try to fearmonger and make you guys feel like you're, the worst thing's ever going to happen to you. Because like I said, if you know the energies that you're working with, you're not going to fall victim to them. There is such a thing as fate and karma and all those things. So there are some things that are absolutely fated and there are some things that are karmic. But for the most part, you're going to be wizened to know what it is that you're working with. Okay. So yeah. Tiana says today was already a day. Girl, me too. You know what's funny? I woke up this morning. I'm going to be honest. I woke up this morning and I was a crabby goon. Like I was so crabby. And I had to pray, dude. I had to get right into the zone. Like normally I wake up with gratitude. It's like this natural inclination that it is that I have to just wake up with gratitude. And I start like my vibe is high. This morning I woke up and I was like, it's going to be one of those days. So immediately I was emotional. I woke up and I was just went right into setting intention. I went right into shifting my focus. I went right into protection mode. I went right into connecting with spirit. Those days where I wake up and I'm just like, something, period. are the days where I'm usually work on Magic, but I go in a little harder where I'm like, okay, Spirit, you take the shots in this one. Like, I'm going to follow your lead. I'm going to follow and let you take over. This is how I'm feeling. This is what's up. So I started off with that immediately. And then from there, my day got so awesome. Like, the energy shifted 100%. Even one of my friends, who's really awesome, she ended up walking out with like fresh baked cookies. It was like SpongeBob SquarePants. You know, when he like sets intention for a positive day and Squidward's like super negative, and Squidward's like, what do you think? The whole world's going to show up and give you a plate of cookies? And then literally it's like cookies. And SpongeBob's like, you know, and then when Squidward goes to get them, the cookies get denied. It was that kind of vibe where I set the intention for the day and everything kind of like switched. Okay, Clouds S Blush on Instagram is saying it's YouTube. I don't know, IDKY Instagram won't let me comment. That's because you probably are not a follower, or you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, or you haven't been subscribed for very long. The only reason why I'm doing that is because we've been getting some trolls on the YouTube platform when I go live. So it just kind of helps protect the community and kind of steer out distractions. I also want to say to you guys before we dive into this week's astrological transits, just keep in mind that there are some people. We have 852 people right now currently streaming live on the YouTube platform, 160 on Instagram. The majority of you from Instagram can go ahead and head over to YouTube. It's up to you. Do you, whatever floats your boat, right? So having said that, a lot of the people who are joining in are people from our tribe. They're from our family. They're from the Bahati vibe. They know me. They know us. They know we. They know, they know what's up, right? The thing that comes up, the problem that comes, I guess, if you want to call it a problem, is that being public means that there's going to be some random people who show up. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. I'm going to acknowledge them in just a moment. There are going to be people who show up and they don't have the best intentions, or they really need attention. Something about them, they just want their moment. So it's notorious. There's always someone who has to come in with some type of comment. So if you guys start seeing those distracting comments, I just want to remind you that you have power and you have control in those situations. We only have an hour to work with. The gems that I drop during our Astro Chat Live sessions are priceless, and it's up to you to stay focused or to allow yourself to get distracted and deviate from gaining, all of those valuable information that you can use, not only for this week, but for the rest of your life. So it's up to you to decide what you're going to allow yourself to get distracted by. But for the most part, I think I kind of nailed things down a little bit so you don't have so much distractions, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, let me just go ahead and look at some of these super chats, and then we'll dive right into this week ahead. Okay, Yay555 sent $8.88. Thank you so much. I love that number, by the way. She says, give thanks, peace be on to you and all the Bahati Life honeybees. Yes, my love. Shout out to the honeybees. Brianna Epps is here with 99 cents and a cute little emoji with the sunglasses. That is such a vibe. I am loving it. And I'm also seeing that we have someone who is pregnant and has congestion. Taylor says, you seem serious today. Today? Just today? Yeah, I'm pretty serious a lot. I have a really intimidating of appearance sometimes. Like I'm pleasant to look at, I guess, but intimidating to talk to. So people, it's just because I'm passionate and I'm intense and I know what I want and I want to say it. I just want to say it. I want to get the information out. So yeah, very, very serious today. Jessica says, just today. Right, exactly. Like, I know who I am. Like, I know what I'm dealing with just today. Like, I seem serious just today. That's wild. Thank you, honey, for acknowledging my seriousness. Yes. There's a lot of that. Okay. Taylor's here with the B. Thank you so much, my love. I appreciate that. Carly says, even my therapist said that the vibes are off, right? So we're going to just take it easy. There's a lot of shit going on in the planets. Yes, 1000%. Alicia Tyler, the Capricorn, is here. Thank you. The goat. We got the goat's presence. You guys know I love a Capricorn. Okay, Blaine says, you look so lovely. Peace and blessings to the other honeybees. Thank you. I really appreciate that. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I have Franklin's iPad here that I use and that I borrow. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. And I'm going to pull the chart up. I have the chart of the moment. I'm not sponsored by Astro.com, although I wish I was sponsored by them because they're absolutely amazing. They are who I recommend. I will be looking down at the iPod. If for those of you guys are wondering what I'm looking at, you might see me holding it up. That's what I'm looking at. And I also have some notes here so I don't miss anything. Yeah, for those of you guys that are tuning in on the YouTube channel, please feel free. We have just under 1,000 people that are hanging out live. If you can go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, that'd be great. Thanks. That'd be great. All right. So first things first, one of the things that let me just say, I did pull some cards, and the energy of the cards is reflecting the energy of the astrological chart, right? Do yourself a favor, if you can, grab a notepad, grab a pen, and pull up your astrological chart if you can. No pressure though, but I'm just saying, these transits that are happening right now are happening collectively. We're all under the same umbrella of these stars, right? We're all under the same influence. However, how this is going to influence your life, how this is going to influence your personal your intimate life is 1000% going to depend on what's going on in your astrological transits, right? What's going on in your astrological chart. I am going to guide you to look at it from the rising sign perspective, not from your sun sign perspective, because the rising sign is going to show you where those planets are currently transiting. That is going to help you to intimately understand exactly what is happening in a way that you can look at it on paper and be like, aha, yes, this makes sense. And okay, the timing is spot on. However, if you do not know your rising sign, don't feel bad. You can get a general gist of the energies and how they are bleeding into your life just solely based upon what area of your life is getting triggered by the exact things that is I'm talking about. Now, do remember that the astrological predictions are things that are for the collective. However, they're not general. They're not going to be generalized. This isn't like a tarot reading. This isn't some silly game or blindly like the blind leading the blind. These transits are very specific, and the energies that they bring are very specific. So yes, it's going to be for the collective, but it's going to be impacting you in a very specific area within your chart. So just FYI, there is no, well, maybe it's going to be, no, this is exactly what we're all dealing with at the same time. It just depends on where in your chart, AKA where in your life, you're going to be feeling this energy the most. Now, one thing that I really want to steer away from this week, and you guys know I kind of can be like a broken record when I do this, is I talk a lot about the major planets. So I talk about Saturn, I talk about Neptune, I talk about Pluto, I talk about Jupiter. All of those planets currently right now are retrograde. And because I spend so much time saying the same thing over and over, this week we need to focus on the personal planets because they're the ones that are going to be disrupting a lot of energies this week, and you're going to feel it. You're going to want to be prepared. You're going to want to plan for it. There are some warnings. There are some areas of caution, and all those things need to be discussed. 100% they need to be discussed. So I do want to talk about that. We're going to start off again with the transits, and then I'm going to show you guys the card that it is I pulled. Hold on. Someone from Instagram says, J555R says, so the house where our rising sign is going to be affected. So the house where our rising sign is going to be affected this week. I don't understand the question that it is that you're asking. Also, thank you guys for the hearts. That's so cute on Instagram. I love you. If you guys could share this live on Instagram, that'd be great. Have you guys seen Office Space? Also, has anyone seen Forrest Gump? I watched Forrest Gump for the first time. Random. Big homie E says, I'm a beast, boo. Really? There's how many comments, right? And you took your time to say that. Well, I'm glad that you just got acknowledged with that energy. I guess you needed that. So yes. Astro Leela says, all my personal planets are in air signs. Dope. Yeah. Cradle Healing says, Forrest Gump fan. Okay. Yeah. We've got some Libra rising. Marianne Moore says, okay. Forrest Gump. I love Forrest Gump. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and dive right in. One thing that I really want you guys to be aware of is if you have, I don't know how this energy is going to apply, but this is because and meaning like I don't know how this is going to apply to you because I'm looking at the charts from a perspective where I'm stepping back. If there is something that you have been putting off on the back burner, it's going to come up and rear its ugly head this week for sure, aggressively this week for sure, if not bleed into next week. If there is a responsibility, I don't know why I just heard occasion. Let's say there's like something that, like an occasion or something that needs to be arranged or something that you need to have planned and put together. If that's not taken care of by the end of this week, there's going to be a serious repercussion that you're going to have to deal with because of that. Let's say this is your bills, your finances. Let's say this has to do with your children. Why? Because Sun square Uranus is happening this week. It's very volatile. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that word correctly, but I'm not entirely sure. And then we have Mars trine Pluto, and then we also have Sun directly opposing Saturn. Saturn sitting in the sign of Aquarius, Sun sitting in the sign of Leo. Um, Uranus sitting in the sign of Taurus. These are the things that it is that we are responsible for, that you exclusively are responsible for. It's what you have done or what you haven't done. Let's say this is not something that you have put off. This is going to be energy that someone else has put off, something that someone owes you, something that they're responsible for. You're going to get it this week. A lot of this also is going to be triggered by the full moon. The full moon is going to be happening on the 11th. The 11th is going to be Thursday. That's Jupiter Day, by the way. So there's this emphasis on energy being exploded and pushed into your face so that you have to see it, so that you have to address it. You can no longer put it on the back burner and pretend like, oh, next week this is going to be dealt with. Or this is something that, let's say you haven't paid, let's say, and the way that it'll okay, wait, let me take a step back. For example, let's say you haven't paid I'm saying plane ticket. Let's say you haven't paid like a parking ticket, and that ticket needed to be paid like 3 months ago, and you're driving to Walmart to get cream and sugar for your coffee, and the next morning you get pulled over, your license gets taken or your license gets revoked, right? Someone wait, let me see this. N says full moon and what again? It's full moon in the sign of Aquarius. It's going to be roughly around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's when your license gets pulled and your shit will get revoked. So if there's something that you haven't been dealing with, or that you keep putting it off, or you've been flying under the radar, you've been getting away with murder, this is the time this week where you're not going to be able to fly by so easily as you once did. Why? Because everything, the Sun square Uranus, is going to put you in a position where you're going to be actively uncomfortable to handle the responsibility. Sun opposing. The same time that Sun is squaring Uranus, this surprise, this unexpected development, is the same time when the Sun squares, the Sun opposes Saturn. Saturn represents our responsibilities, the things that we are in charge of, the things that we need to take care of because we're mature, because we have our shit together. The truth is, the majority of us do not have our shit together. We're trying. We may, for the most part, have our shit together, and maybe we do have our shit together. And if that's the case, you're fine. This message doesn't apply to you. But for those of us that do have things that we need to take care of, Blaine Hagler says this is terrifying. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Unless you've got some really ugly skeletons that are sitting in the closet, then maybe it could be terrifying. The fact, if you're scared, it's because you might actually know that there's something serious that you've been needing to deal with that you just keep putting off. I will say this, that if you have health conditions, right? If you have any health conditions, especially when it comes to high blood pressure, when it comes to overindulgence, when it comes to bones, like any type of things that might weaken your vitality and weaken the strength of your body, these are things that if you push yourself too much, you're going to push yourself into a space of sickness. The body can only tolerate so much. So let's say there's a diet or some type of restriction. Let's say there's medication that you have to take, or medication that you shouldn't be taking, and you continue to take it for whatever reason. This is the week where your body says enough is enough. As I'm saying that, I had to look at the sign that rules health, and that's Virgo. Mercury, the planet of communication, is transiting slowly and quietly through the sign of Virgo. This is about minding your P's and Q's, right? There's certain details, there's certain habits, lifestyles that you should be honoring. This is how your routine, your hygiene. Virgo rules the hygiene, it rules how you take care of yourself. Maybe this is not actual physical hygiene of the body, so like brushing your teeth, like small things like that, even though that sounds like it can be very easy, like an easy thing sometimes. Let's say if you have a lot of responsibilities, you might drop the ball on taking care of yourself. This is when Mercury moving through the sign of Virgo says the small details, the small rituals, the small things that you should have been taking care of or that you should have been maintaining, now you're going to have a breakdown. Now it's especially at the time of the full moon, you might have a bigger problem. Let's say your check engine light is on in your car and you continue to drive, and the chances are is that it's going to be a small trip. It's going to be a small thing within your neighborhood. It's going to be localized. And for whatever reason, it's going to push you into a point where you're just like, fuck, I should have taken care of this a long time ago. So just FYI, the full moon in Aquarius is going to be the sign that triggers it the greatest. Big time, it's going to be the sign that triggers it, because the full moons just bring everything up to the surface. If you have Aquarius ruling your seventh house, right? If you have Aquarius ruling your seventh house, or if you're connected to someone with Aquarius ruling their seventh house, this is where you're going to have a big warning when it comes to relationships. All of a sudden, your partner or you is going to say, it's like the shit hits the fan within that area where you're like, you say the wrong thing, or you say something that bothers you, and that person now all of a sudden needs space. They need to draw back into themselves. They need to go into their dark hole, and they need to ask themselves, do I want to tolerate this thing within this relationship? Do I even want this relationship? There's this heightened emphasis on being irritable, being ungrounded, being disconnected, and needing to hyper focus on yourself in a way that is selfish and self-focused, right? Is this necessarily a bad thing? Absolutely not. Having this moment to pull into yourself, or having your partner, we're just gonna quickly talk about relationships. Soybe and 4444 says the second house. This has everything to do with your spending. If you have been, I was gonna say, pissing away your your finances on like small things, it's the small things that are gonna take you guys down, or it's a small thing that takes you down. So let's say there's someone, this doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Let's say you have the second house, these transits are happening within your second house or activating your second house. You might not realize that there might be someone or something draining your resources. It could be something bad. It could be a bad energy. And it's the tension of these planets that shows them, it makes them slip up. So let's say there's someone who hacked into your bank account and they are like slowly draining your resources. You have no idea that it's happening. The full moon brings that shit up to attention, and chances are it's going to be technology. It's going to be like like an online payment, something that is done through the internet, or something that's wired over, it's that small. Let's say they've been taking out like 15 grand every month, and you are just so loaded that you don't see it, but somehow it's going to be the $3 meal at McDonald's that somehow they're gonna, like, you're somehow, that's, it's gonna take you down, that it's gonna take them down, you're gonna see it. So these transits are not bad. They are forceful, they are in your face, they are obvious, and they're not things that you could just be like, oh, I didn't see that happening, or oh, I can brush that under the rug. No. No. If you are, again, if you have some level of responsibility, or something that, especially when it comes to investments, you guys remember last week and the week before that, I was talking to you guys about where it is that your money is going, and I kept telling you that, not that you should not spend your money, it's not that, but be very mindful about how you're spending your money and if you can maintain, because whatever major purchases that is that you're making and investing right now, as Uranus is transiting through, and I said I was going to talk about the major planets. We'll go right back in, I promise. But as Uranus is transiting through the sign of Taurus, these are things of value, substance that we can put our hands on right now, that they swing from great value to very little value very, very quickly, and it's not predictable. You may actually get an offer on the table for something that you own, that you already have, that other people want to buy off of you for either a great sum or like it's really possible that you can make a lot of money off of that. So that would seem like a wise investment if it's in your best interest. At the end of the day, regardless of what I'm saying, regardless of what I've got going on, whatever it is that I'm telling you guys, at the end of the day, you should always check in with spirit, check in with yourself, check in with your intuition, and ask yourself, does this feel like this will pay out for me in the long term? And what is the divine, what is my higher self saying about the situation? Because yes, of course, these transits are going to act as a guide, but ultimately what seals the deal for you is going to be how it makes you feel and what you know internally, that this is a yes or no for me. Okay. um Venus, right? I really want to talk to you guys about Venus. So she rules the planet of luxury, she rules the planet of attraction, she rules the energy of comfort. Well, like what we're attracted to, and like what is valuable to us as far as tangible things like that, money, resources, those types of things, and like what we spend it on, right? Venus is transiting through the sign of Cancer. There's this natural desire for that which we find comfortable, right? We want to feel comforted, we want to feel supported. There also is this like appearance and then withdrawal when it comes to Venus energy through the sign of Cancer. So this is where you have really comfy, cozy dates, taking people to, or cozy things, going to places that you are comfortable with, that you go there and you know it's going to be like you're going to walk out, you're not tempted to try new things, is what it is I'm trying to say. You prefer, and you're gravitating towards your comfort, your home base, things that feel secure for you and where you feel the most safe. At the end of this week, same time at the full moon, so towards the end of this week on the 11th, Venus is then going to move into the sign of Leo. So I just want to say that if there is going to be any type of not strenuous, but extravagant, that's the word is that I'm looking for. If there's any type of extravagant purchase or any type of extravagant appearance that happens within this week during that time, triggered by the full moon and triggered by the planets transiting, I would wait. And this is just me being a Virgo. Sorry, guys, I err on the side of caution. So, and especially with Mercury moving to the sign of Virgo, I would literally wait, if you can, 2 weeks to take this seriously. That's just me, because everything is going to be explosive. It's going to be in your face, but is it totally grounded and is it totally stabilized? No. No. Why? Last thing I'll say about this, the only thing that is stabilized here is Mercury moving through the sign of Virgo. And basically, even with that, it's like stable, but Virgo is a mutable sign. It can change. Like it can change depending on what blows in next. So even the earth is not 1000% grounded. It can change depending on the vibe of what's going on. And there's a lot of energy being brought up to the surface. You have the fire, the fire of the sun moving through Leo right now, that's passionate, that's feverish, that wants to get out there, that wants to get involved. As soon as Venus enters in the sign of Leo, and at the same time that the full moon is happening in the sign of Aquarius, which is going to be on the 11th, you're going to see, hear, know, be aware, observe something that just pops off in your face. It's going to be attractive. It's going to be loud. But I also want you guys to observe it, see it, thank the universe for it, but err on the side of caution and discernment, unless you are trying to have a good time. If you are trying to have a good time, and this is going to sound like I'm talking about relationships or dating or sex or anything like that, take this message how it resonates. If you're erring on the side of having a time, wear protection or do things to protect yourself. So let's say this is, let's say your friends, because The 11th house, the full moon happening in the sign of Aquarius naturally rules the 11th house. The 11th house of friends, social media, networking, those types of things. Let's say there's this explosive activity that shows up, or spontaneous activity that shows up within your friend circle or on social media, and you're just like, yo, this sounds like a good time. Witch Luck says, wait, when? Okay, this is going to be the 11th, specifically the 11th, but I'm telling you guys, it's going to cover you the entirety of this week, and it's going to bleed over into the next week. So it's very spontaneous. It's very like, hey, we're outside your door. Jump in. Let's go. We're going to the circus. So go if you feel called to go, and go if you don't have any major responsibilities that need to take care of. Because remember, if you're dropping the ball on any responsibilities this week, if you got away with it last week and the week before that, this is a week where it's just like you're going to be held to the fire. They're going to be like, you were supposed to be at the Zoom meeting. Where were you? And then all of a sudden, it's going to be this small photo that you get tagged in on Instagram, and you're shown at the circus. Now you're fired, right? So do you see how it's like all those small things, those small components, like a small detail can get you in hotter water? These are just things that you need to be aware of, right? So it's just use your discernment, play wisely, and be careful. Time out. Neek says mine is in the 12th house. So let's talk about that. The 12th house rules psychology, it rules the subconscious, it rules the shadow, it rules the secrets, it rules things that can accidentally deceive you or intentionally deceive you. I mean, let's be honest here. If you are someone who naturally swings with your emotions or your mental health, this is a week where you're going to want all hands on deck. And I want to make sure that everybody is fucking covered here, right? And I'm a huge mental health advocate. So let's say you're someone who has emotional swings or energy swings or highs and lows, or you're very vulnerable to energies. Now that you're saying that your 12th house is going to be activated here, be aware, all hands on deck. You're going to need a lot of not that you're going to need a lot of resources. You're going to want to keep on hand, close by, all the resources that you need if your energy starts to get irritable, volatile, swings up or swings down. Why? Because Sun square Uranus creates this irritation, this spiritual or emotional or mental irritation that is undeniable. You can't pretend like, yeah, Neek says I'm a Cancer. Yo. So that's going to make it even harder for you. But that it's also creates a blessing for you, because this is going to be an awesome time for you, Cancer, to go to the water, create a bath, or prepare now so that you have the bath salts and bath soaks that you are going to need when you feel triggered this week, or when you need additional support this week. You can have, Palace A says depression, anxiety here. Exactly. So if you're someone who is naturally prone to this is going to be everything for you, because when it shows up, when it starts to reveal itself, you're not surprised by it. You're not looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, oh, fuck, another setback. Things are never going to get. No, astrologically, it's all happening within the stars. So instead of you feeling defeated by this, you're feeling transformed by it. You're feeling empowered by it. Your quote unquote weakness, which I don't see it as a weakness. I've always saw it, even depression as anxiety, as a strength. But your thing that would normally derail you, or quote unquote maybe sometimes kind of set you back, is now something that's going to set you up for success, because you're going to know this week is going to be emotional, especially as a Cancer. Cancers are naturally ruled by the full moon, or ruled by the moon. So full moons especially, you're going to feel that more impacted by anything at all. Yeah, Flower of Life says, I can't hide it at all. I'm a Capricorn. Girl, if there's one thing that I love, it's earth signs, specifically Capricorn energy. You guys cannot hide anything, especially if you're a Capricorn rising. It's all over your face. The frustration, the irritation. It's like, you may not have to tell me what it is that you're thinking. I can see it on your face. You can't hide with a Capricorn. Cancer might be a little, yeah, you guys, oh God, wrong. Yeah, Libra energy. Rami says I don't mean to laugh. Yeah, Gemini. Oh, I can't. Oh my God. Chase says, I'm a Gemini, Libra, Libra. Tara says, yes, it's so irritating. I bet. I bet. And as a Virgo, so I'm Cancer rising, Virgo sun. But when I tell you, my face always looks like I always got like resting RBF. Always got resting bitch face. I'm just sitting here. Everyone thinks that I'm judging them, or everyone's like, oh, I didn't think that you liked me. And then they get to know me and they're just like, oh my God, I feel so safe with you. It's like these extremes where at first you think, yeah, Witch Alexa shit is weird. Yo, I bet. I bet. I believe you. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It's just a part of our charm. It's like the person that you think like she's so standoffish. I always get like stuck up. People think I'm stuck up because my face is screwed up like this, and they think I'm judging, but the reality is like I'm an introvert, so half the time, more than half of the time, I'm energetically overwhelmed by the energy of the room. So I'm just kind of like watching and observing, especially if people are drinking, because that's usually when I leave my house is like to go hang out with my friends or go party or whatever the case is. I'm not much of a drinker. You guys know I spent the majority of my life not drinking. And actually, now that I've been here, I have like a cocktail or two cocktails. That's the most I've ever drunk in my entire life. I've been like saying that to people that I've been like meeting and saying that to my friends now because it's literally like mind blown the fact that I'm even here. I used to be like, it doesn't matter. Anyways, you guys, I'm going off the deep end here. All right. It's just I'm balanced, like I went from being very pure in my diet and my lifestyle to now exploring some of my vices. Or not vices, but exploring some things that don't have me so buttoned up, I guess, but that's not even probably the right um it's probably not the right way to say it because I was always the first person to like jump on a bull, you know what I mean? Sober. So I just like to have a good time. Anyways, within reason, within reason. I'm not reckless. At the end of the day, I'm going to be a Virgo, so I'm not going to be reckless. I'm always like scanning everything. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and continue on. These energies, please keep in mind the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is these energies are not just impacting you, they're impacting other people. So please know that you're going to be dealing with the like others, right? Who are feeling the same transits, but feeling them in their own way, their own world. Some energies here are showing me that for the last 2 months and some change, there's been a lot of playful, reckless, unstable. I don't want to say unpredictable because it's very predictable. It's like the person you can't count on. Like they are predictable in the fact that they are unpredictable. You can't count on that energy, right? But for whatever reason, there might be a cord there. There might be an attachment. There might be something that they owe you. There might be someone you have to work with. It's something that you have to still kind of deal with. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because Chiron is retrograde. And also with the North Node falling in the sign of Taurus, all of these planets have been sitting on top of each other, just kind of like focusing on your ability to work for yourself and not rely on others. But the truth is, as human beings, like we need other people. So we can say that these transits are showing us how to be independent, but the reality is that they're pulling us away from the things that we were dependent on. All right. So as an astrologer, I don't look at just these specific transits. I look at the entire chart and I put it all together. It creates a relationship that I can see panning out. And that's the message that I reveal with you guys. So we're looking beyond what is each individual transit in order to get more detail specific. Okay. Sinead Robledo sent super chat for $2.49. Thank you, my love. She says, I'm in Aries. How is Lionsgate this year? So I do appreciate your super chat, but I cannot talk about anything that's not in alignment with what we're talking about right now, especially when it comes to personal things. As long as it serves the collective, then I can help with that. But Lionsgate, please refer to the video that I posted. I think it was the last Astro Chat Live. We talked about Lionsgate, and I was talking to you guys about the importance of guarding your heart. The heart is the vessel that the divine uses to connect with you, and it is the most important part of the body. One of the most important part of the body. And if that is off, or if that is just open to anything, then you have a bigger problem. You have to be very aware of what you're tapping into with these quote unquote portals, because yes, you may have good intentions. Yes, you may have good vibes, but when you're tapping into energy, collective energy specifically, and you're just opening your heart up to this portal, you have no idea what is being trying to also activate within you. And it is very wise that it was said and written to guard your heart. This doesn't mean not to allow anything in and to wall yourself off, but this means to use very much, I don't want to say strategy, but discernment in what you are allowing into your vessel, into your spirit, into your heart. Because once you have that pulled, it makes everything else wonky. So that's what I'll say about the Lions gate portal. Jasmine Jimenez sent 199. Thank you so much for the super chat, love. She says, what candles are good to manifest a team? It depends on what the team is. At the end of the day, though, your intention behind it is going to be more specific. Thank you guys so much for the super chats, but let's focus if we can. I'm not going to be able to answer questions that are off topic from what it is that we're talking about tonight, because we only have an hour to talk about. There's now 1,200 people that are tuning in with us on YouTube channel, and those who are going to be trickling in afterwards in order to catch up, because maybe they're at work or doing whatever. So I want to make sure that we're serving them. So thank you again for the super chat, but let's stay on focus. Okay. Messiah says yes to the boundaries. Absolutely. Okay. Missy says, yeah, you need best advice to attack a soul tribe. Yeah, honestly, you have to think about like Neptune transiting through the sign of Pisces right now, Neptune retrograde. There is a huge attack, and has been a huge attack on the spiritual community and spiritual people. The problem is that it starts to mirror each other. Like evil starts to mirror good. And that becomes a bigger problem, because it makes people so vulnerable to not be able to know what is right and wrong for them, because they are looking for shortcuts. They're looking for an easy way out, and they're not developing their relationship with the divine. They're just accepting anything, information, and they think that the spiritual community is something that is safe. And the reality is not every spirit is clean. Not every spirit is going to be clean. So the same time when you are sitting at like in these groups and trying to work on manifesting, something specific within your life with collective consciousness or with the collective group, and you're just opening up to this portal and being like, oh no, I'm good, and you're not spiritually protecting yourself, and you're not spiritually solid, or you don't know what you're dealing with, or who you're dealing with, or you're not protecting your energy or your altar, or your spiritual self is not clean, the heart is not clean, you don't realize how quickly you will be tripped up into that and fooled actively again and again. And what you don't want is to lose sight of the divine, lose sight of your higher self. And sometimes that happens when you are pursuing the divine, and when you're pursuing the higher self and pursuing your gifts. So how do you do that? It's all about doing your research and always working on developing your level of communication with spirit through the heart, 1000%. And sometimes you're going to be the one that has to speak up for yourself, or to say no, or to be like, question, okay, I understand that the rest of the world is tuning into this meditation, or tuning into this group reading, or especially like pick a card readings and those types of things. Like the world is saying that it's okay, but the reality is that information that you are opening yourself up to believing can ultimately change your energy if you're not protected and if you're not careful. Not even if, when it's only a matter of time. So make sure that you're spiritually clean, and make sure that others that you're dealing with are spiritually clean, and you're not believing anything on the internet. And that includes myself. Of course, my intention is never to lead anyone astray, but who knows? Who knows? You guys have to be very, 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 very careful. Very, very careful. Chanel says, thank you so much for your honesty, girl. Always. I get in trouble for my honesty. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, I gotta look at myself in the mirror, and I gotta, I speak to the divine and be like, All right. It's trouble I can deal with. Lisette Soto sent $4.99, and that little pear, I just think he's just so cute. She said, it's like this little pear dropping the mic. That's so cute. Rami says, I adore you. I adore you more. You're the best. Erica G sent me a heart, and I really appreciate that. Okay, guys. So, wait. Mon says, is that what you follow? I don't understand the question. But if you're asking about my spiritual practice, I practice hoodoo, and I believe in divine energy. It's pretty much like, I don't say nameless, but I say the divine because it's the names that are available right now do not describe the higher power that I worship. So, and that I work with, and that has protected me since the beginning of time. So and then also it's like I come on it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's my practice. Okay. MC Michelle says, thank you for the great work. Much love from Montreal, Canada. Thank you, my love. Guys, I would love to know where you guys are coming from. Where are we tuning in from? Are we in the US? Where at in the US? Where at someone said hoodoo all day. Yes, my love. Always. Okay, Shy D says, you sent me the white candles when I was battling cancer. Cancer-free year 2, and I love you for helping. Yes, baby. I love to hear that. Yes, those white, dude, that healing white candle is everything. When I tell you, I'm just so happy. Yo, hearts and shout outs to Shy D for battling her freaking cancer. Like, point blank. Take my, like, let's not even talk about the candle. Let's talk about you. The fact that you defeated that, like, that is everything. I'm so happy. And I'm setting intention for more health for you again and again and again. And to be a part of that journey and to help you within that it's an honor. It's beyond an honor. And I love the fact that you shared that, because at the end of the day, I'm going to always work with spirit. I have chills. At the end of the day, I'm always going to work with spirit. I'm always going to work with the divine. And I follow instructions. And I'm a human being just like the rest of you guys. And I sometimes have moments where, not that my faith is tested, because that's not it, but I start to see a lot of things going on in the world where it can be so negative and it can be so energetically draining. And then it's brought to me, and it's my job and my desire to help, right? Bahati's life's motto is in service to others and the divine first, but in service to others and the divine. And when I show up to be of service, because I'm triple Virgo here, but like when I show up to be of service, my Mars is in Virgo, my moon is in Virgo, my sun is in Virgo. I do desire to fix and to heal and to make better based upon what I know, what I learned, and also how spirit directs me to do that through magic, through intention, and through my words. However, sometimes I don't always get the follow-up from that. And sometimes, a lot of times, when I receive the follow-up, I don't allow myself to read it because I'm so focused on what it is that I'm doing and working on the next problem. Over time, that starts to diminish my feelings of joy and pleasure and enthusiasm, because I don't, and I was just talking to God about this, actually. Like, I was just talking to the divine about this, but either way, it's really, I love to be able to hear how spirit does work, and through candles, through magic, through intention, because it's always confirming to me. It always feels good for me. So just thank you guys. Oh my God, Renee D is from Jamaica. That's where my family's from. We're at in Jamaica. Feel free if you. A unicorn word says, what's the difference between hoodoo and voodoo? Could you do a video? There's big differences between hoodoo and voodoo. And of course I can do a video on that, but a quick Google search right now will be able to answer that question for you. Basically, hoodoo is a mix of African spirituality, many different African spiritualities, and I don't say American spirituality, but also Christianity. And for me, most of the major religions, I practiced a lot of them, and I'm a blend of hoodoo from my mother's side, and also very extreme Christianity and Catholicism from my dad's side. On top of that, my ancestors, hoodoo is the African mix of our practices that have stemmed back generations and generations of root work, spiritual work that we have had to hold on to, protect, hide, and honor in our way that blends and merges different practices together from different places, because during the African slave trade, there was a lot of mixes from different cultures and different places, because so many of our ancestors were being bought, sold, and passed around. So pretty much that's how, I don't really know how to put that in a shorter way, but that's what I'll say for that. And definitely do your research on that if you need more questions on that. Or if you have more, if you have more questions on that. Megan Ferry says, is your love language words of affirmation? No. My love language is quality time and physical touch. Nola's Tarot says, Jess, how can I be a moderator for you? Gotcha. You're a moderator now. Thank you, my love. Oh, Stefina says, love all the way from Angola, Africa. Thank you, my love. It's so good having you here. Disan says that she's coming in from Michigan. Thank you, my love. Is it cold there? Just curious. Okay, wait. Christina says, Jess, you worried me talking about big purchases. I'm buying a house and it's closing next Monday. Should I look out for anything? Just look at the bones of the house. If you got it for it also depends on the area, but if you got it for a good deal and you feel good about it, this is very, very, it'll be profitable. It's just things are going to swing a lot. And a lot of what is swinging is the value of the homes, but also the availability of the homes. As Uranus is sitting through the sign of Taurus, you guys, Taurus rules terra, it rules land, and it rules the things that we're able to own with land. Okay. So yes, Nola's Tarot says, thank you. Absolutely, my love. Thank you for helping out moderating. And if anybody else wants to be a moderator, please let me know. But yeah, so it's pretty much about availability. So if you found something that you like and that you love, especially with Uranus sitting on top of the North Node, and what does Taurus rule within your chart? I would love to see that. Hold on, let me see if I can pin this so I can find you later and answer that question for you, just in general. I know that I said that I wasn't going to answer. Okay, Christina, that's why. Okay, I'm going to, let's see if I can pin this comment really quickly. Probably can't. Christina Novak. I'll just look out for you, my love. Okay. Magical Queen Scorpio says, can you practice magic on your cycle? Girl, yes. Yes. That's the best time to practice. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be like that, but like that is the best time. When I save like the time when I'm on my cycle, I have a whole video on it. I was gonna say, I was gonna save. What I was gonna okay, wait, someone says I want to be a moderator. I got you, babe. Add as a moderator. Marianne says I want to be a moderator. I got you, babe. Okay. I save. Okay, wait. Alicia Pink Co says I would love to be a moderator, and so you shall. And thank you also for the super chat. Feminine energy is the most powerful motherfucking energy out there. Why do you think like societies throughout history are constantly trying to squash feminine magic and feminine power? Because we would defeat them. We would defeat them. So not that it's going to be something that not that feminine energy would try to take over, but that's the thing. Anyways, moral of the story is, should you work magic during your cycle? Absolutely 1000% work magic during your cycle. 100%. But it's a different type of magic. This is where you're tapping into the art of receptivity. I always have a hard time with that word, but it's about attracting. It's about pulling in. It's about sitting back and working with shadow self, working with attraction, working with pulling things and drawing things into you by magnetism. So a lot of feminine energy when we are on our cycle, and I feel like we're totally deviating, and this is why I'm trying to stay focused, but when we're on our cycle, we start to quote unquote lose. We say that we're losing energy, but it's not that we're losing energy. Our energy is redirected into feminine. So we're moving out of masculine, where we have to show up, where we're responsible for showing up, or we're expected to show up. And when we tap into feminine energy, this is where, or we're pulled out of masculine and pulled into the feminine. Now we're starting to attract. Now we're starting to magnetize. And sometimes what ended up happening is throughout society, they started demonizing and calling the feminine cycle gross, or they're like making it seem like it's bad. But honestly, that's the most powerful time to draw things towards you. And one of my favorite ways to do this is through sleep, through comfort, through visualization, and tapping into the energies that I'm already feeling. I have like certain rituals and things that I do during my menstrual cycle that are actually pulled up that I have on my YouTube channel. I made a video about that. So if to answer your question, long story short, the Cosmic Conjurer says, I volunteer as moderator. And I got you, babe. All right. Giselle says, I'd like to be a moderator for you as well, Jess. Thank you. It'll be an honor. You guys are amazing. I freaking love you so much. What if we're pregnant, though? Even more so, my love. Shit. Like, if you're on your cycle right now, work magic for me. Like, what? Work magic for me. If you were on your cycle right now, I just ended mine. But if you're on your cycle for me and at the time of the full moon, y'all better light a candle for me with good luck and good intentions, though, of course. Yes. And if you're pregnant, I mean, I volunteer. Are you kidding me? That is such a highly magnetic time. You got to be kidding me. Yes. Okay. Shidi says, thank you for being such a light for many and keep the humor always. It makes my day. Thank you so much, my love, for the $19.99 super chat. That's absolutely amazing. $20 is such a cool number. I love 20. Can I tell you guys, I always find $20 bills on the ground and wallets. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, let's jump this in. Yeah. Actually, wait, I'm probably not saying this. She says, somebody do a candle for global warming. I've been had them burning. I don't know why I'm stuttering so bad right now. Okay, you two be beautiful. Fifth house is ruled by Aquarius energy, and the full moon is positioned in my fifth house. Any advice? Please, thank you for your work. To me, that's giving business. If you're thinking about working for yourself or hyper focusing on your business and what you're creating or using your creative talents in order to contribute to society or contribute to your funds, absolutely do it. But we're starting to deviate away from what it is that we're normally talking about. So I'm going to put my brakes on a little bit and get back into focusing because damn it, we're at an hour already. Time flies when you're doing what you love. Let me just wave at those on Instagram. Shali POV says, I ordered my Pluto Death Oil the other day. Yeah, that's really good. Okay. Oh, Kia's Energy Bar says, you save what? So basically what I was trying to say was I save that time to work magic in a different way. 100%. 100%. There's, of course, with anything, there could be things that are you could use it for bad, but you could just do that for anything because there's also a stigma around that. Yes, Marianne says, guys, hit the likes up. Yes, you guys, moderators are doing a really good job. Why haven't I done this before? Yes, hit the likes video, the like of that video. Or this video, this live that we're going. I'm just so excited. So yeah, Tabby the Herbal Witch says period blood. Exactly. So, and you guys know the stigma revolving around period blood. I have a video also on blood magic. You guys know the stigma around period blood. This is why we barely can talk about it on the internet because as soon as someone talks about using their period blood for magic, the first thing that they think about is that they're going to use it to like get a man. It's like men think we want them so badly that we're like get out for yourself. It always blows my mind how obnoxious men can be that you really think like I'm going to use my power to attract you. Like I'm sorry. I always have to sit back and just be like, of all the things that I could have in this world, of all the desires that the divine has placed in my heart, you think that I'm going to sit like at the most magical point of my month and manifest you. That is so like the audacity. But like I don't know. I just think that's so funny. And women, guys, we're deviating. And I'm not saying that men are not valuable. They are, but patriarchal society at its finest, soul nudge evolution, exactly. It's like everything is always about them. Like you always got to make it right. Wait. Regina says men think that they are the prize. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta be kidding me. But keep on, honey. Keep believing that. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love every single man within my life. Anybody, especially, relationships. That's the other thing too. Can I just say this really quickly? And one thing that I've also noticed is that in the past I would manifest materialize when I wanted a partner because I'm like, oh, I'm working a lot. I could use some masculine companionship, right? Because and I'm a relationship girl, you guys know. So I would then work my magic and then within less than 3 weeks, my next boyfriend shows up and he's everything that it is I've wanted. Everything on my list would then manifest within 3 weeks. They would be chasing me, literally chasing me. I wouldn't even have to lift a finger, but that's literally menstrual magic. That not that I'm working with my menstrual blood, but it's like I would work during when I'm on my cycle. Period. That's all you have to do. And with it, I'm telling you, within 3 weeks, within under a month, you'll get exactly what it is that you set up the intention for. But when the guys find out and they're maybe they're not, because that's the other thing too. I never really like to attract. We're deviating, but I never like to manifest guys who are highly spiritual because so much of my and this is kind of controversial, but I don't like to share my spirituality and my spiritual practice with another person because I share so much of it with the world. So it's a lot. It has to be something that's sacred for me. I don't want my partner to be over my shoulder looking at what is that I'm doing or working magic with me. But now I'm starting to be more open to manifesting that. But in the past, I don't want that. So I would always find myself having to sit down and like chuckle when I'm talking to my partners. Yeah, Diamond Iris McQueen says same. Yeah, it's just like it's always been my thing. I've never wanted a guy who was totally spiritual because then it's like they want to talk to me about it all and I literally spent all day talking to you guys about it. So now I'm going to like and I want to talk to you guys about it. I want to continue to show up. Biza Beza, I remember you, my love. You make earrings, don't you? You had these. She had, I think, if you're correct, I'll never forget energy. I never forget a face. She had these beautiful, like horn gold earrings. Please let me know if I'm correct on that. She had like jewelry, stunning jewelry. If you guys can follow her or Beza, I'm butchering your name. I'm so sorry. I'll literally pin your website or when I tell you guys, I still have the necklace that she sent me and the earrings that she sent me. So thank you, my love. And thank you for the super chat. But if I'm correct, yes, it's her. I know it. This was years ago. We did a reading together years ago. I never forget a face. And I could see your picture right there. I never forget a face. I never forget energy. Yeah. And if you have a website or information, go ahead and pin it. Literally, I will. When I tell you guys, she got this. She sent, and it's so funny because I didn't even know what she did. And when I was doing the reading, I was like, I feel like you're going to like send me something. It's so funny how things work out. Like, and I wasn't trying, I actually felt kind of insecure because I'm like, I hope she doesn't think that I'm trying to take from her right now. But like, I felt like, and when I tell you, I have the earrings, I have the necklace, and it hangs, it dangles, right? And it's so beautiful. It's so powerful. So if you still have that business going, I will literally pin it and I will post it up. All right. What was I saying? Oh, so the guys, they'll be like, we've gone off the deep end. This is why I don't like to. That's why I'm like so strict with my rules because I will deviate. I'm very like very wordy, right? Long-winded. I can talk about a lot of things for a long time. So then I'm like sitting there talking to the guy that I literally manifested, right? And they're like, oh, cocky, so cocky. Or maybe I'm attracted to cocky men. But so they're sitting there and they're like, oh, you manifested me. Like you wanted me. Bitch, what? No, you responded to my magic. When I lit the candle, you came running. Like, it's like they don't even realize. Like when I lit this candle, you showed up. Not only yes, wait, Chanel says Virgo men are cocky as fuck. I believe all men. They're cocky. They're called cocky for a reason. Like ridiculous. But it's like I lit the candle. I used one of my love spells. It didn't have your name on it. It didn't have your horoscope sign on it. It was just a love spell. It was just a love spell. And you were the first person to show up, and then I chose you. But go on. Go on, King. I'm like, go on. It's so funny. But I get it. Every person that I've manifested at in the past, you guys, because if you guys saw my astrological chart, you'd be like, yo, this girl is it would be a roller coaster when it comes to relationships. So every Empress Tyra, every when I dated, I always dated with intention, and I knew that it wasn't going to be a straight shot to my soulmate. That there were certain things that I was going to have to deal with within myself in order to defeat that, so that I could grow enough to be emotionally available and mentally available for a long relationship. So every single partner that I knew, there were certain things, like there was like intimacy I wasn't comfortable with. For example, like emotional intimacy, not physical intimacy, but like I always felt like back in the day, I'm just like, I didn't feel safe with a man. Like I was dealing with father issues of abandonment. So I didn't feel safe with a man like that. Like, so then I manifested my partner and I asked for specifics. I wanted something, each one of those people, it's not that I don't love them. I do love them. I care about and I'm friends with most of my exes, but each one of them were essentially pawns in my journey. So it's like when I manifest them, I know exactly what it is that I'm going to gain from that relationship. I know what I am entering into that relationship with the intention for, because I literally wrote it down, I manifested it, and then they responded. I just think it's so funny how I just think it's so funny how they're just like, oh, like, you asked for me, like, wait, let's move on. But ladies and gentlemen, just know that working your magic during your cycle, and working your magic during your cycle does not necessarily mean that you're using your blood. However, if you want to, you can. I don't always recommend it, but it's a huge lesson in the art of receiving and the art of attracting and the art of magnetizing energy towards you. And don't let masculine energy, toxic or otherwise, fool you into thinking that you're anything less than the magical being that you are. And this is from men too, because you have feminine energy within you. You just need to tap into it in a society that's just like, oh no, it's not safe to do so. They're just ignorant and they're trying to hold you back. And if you're not comfortable working your magic, then c'est la vie. It's not for you. But for the rest of us, we're lighting our candles, we're working with our oils. Guys, speaking of which, I have this, I did this Follow Me Boy oil, which the Follow Me Boy oil, like, guys, look at that. It's just so good. It's not exclusively to make up a man or like a masculine energy follow you. It's just what you want. You'll just attract it like that. So pretty cool. Intellectual. Oh, why did I read? Okay, she said, Astro Chat Girls Night. Yes. Okay, Sexy Cutie says, this is very beautiful. I'm loving the energy right now. Thank you, my love. Yes. Slim says, what oil? Slim _ This is the Follow Me Boy oil, but I've been using it for, I don't want to tell you guys my intention right now, but I'm working on a personal goal. And there's a specific thing that I have in mind. It's not a relationship. It's going to sound like it's a relationship or something like that, but it has to do with a relationship, but it's not a romantic relationship. It's more something else. But I want a specific thing. So I've been working with this oil, and I've also, as I'm working with you guys right now, I put this on the banished oil because I want this to be a very powerful conversation. I want the right people to come in. I want the right people to be here. Yeah, so let's go ahead and boop. All right. Yes, Christy Wilson says, I ordered the Follow Me Boy, excited to work my magic. It's so good. It's so good. Full moon in Aquarius, guys, is going to be the 11th at 9:30 p.m. I'm 1000% going to be in the altar. For those of you guys that don't know, I had some home renovations going on. So my altar was in the sunroom. I think I'm going to leave it there, but now I have way more space. I'm back in my home office, and I just needed to finish setting up like a bigger table so I could put my oils there and organize behind me. And then we are just on like Donkey Kong. Freaking love that. We're going to be back packaging things, in this space. It's going to be pretty solid. So during the full moon in Aquarius, I will be working in Aquarius oil, and I'm going to be working on a domination oil. So this is for, I don't want to say forcing your will, but it's for, because forcing is probably not the right word. It's when you need to legit push something through or push something up to the forefront so that it's seen, so that it's like a commanding oil, like something that you command the presence of in order to make something happen for your highest and greatest good. Okay, so that's not available in the shop right now, but it is something that I will be working on the 11th. So if you guys want access to that, I would be more than happy to maybe put a link, and maybe make it like a pre-order. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, speaking of dominating, pushing up to the front and commanding, this is why on the 14th, and I know that we're at an hour, you guys, we're at 1 hour and almost 11 minutes. I think I'm saying that correctly. Sun opposing Saturn is going to push its way up to the forefront. This is, again, something that, and with Mars, what I also love is that Mars is going to be trine Pluto. This is the epitome of commanding energy. This is why I'm creating and putting and making this oil available that night and then some, because this is about pushing something up to the forefront. This is about, oh, thank you, my love. Yay. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Can you please let me know? Yeah, Queen Bee Homestead. Those are the body butters. Thank you, guys. Thank you for putting that link in there. I really, really appreciate that. I do be whipping up, usually on the weekends. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, Kaylee says, Jess, can you please answer? Is it normal to feel heavy during a portal like this? So, my love, do you guys hear that question? Is it normal to feel heavy during a portal like this, like energy? Always listen to your energy. Always listen to your vibe. Is it normal? What is normal? Okay? What is normal? So, does it feel good to feel heavy right now? Does the heaviness feel good for you, or does it feel like it's wearing you down and bogging you down? Don't allow the internet to tell you that, okay, this is the only time that you can tap into the Lionsgate portal in order to access abundance and prosperity and expansion and all this, extra willpower or whatever. That's not true. If you need this time, or the energy that the collective is tapping into right now is not a missed opportunity or missed experience for you. This is a time for you to honor and respect the fact that this feels energetically draining and pulling you down in some way. Am I going to be working at the time of was I working my magic with the collective consciousness today at any point with the intention of connecting with the Lionsgate portal? No. Was I working my magic at the time of the Lionsgate portal today? Yes. Was I trying to connect with that and tap into that? No. Was the energy weird when I woke up? Absolutely yes. So what I did was I'm not activating my magic and working my intentions and manifesting because the internet is telling me to do that. If we're going to talk about abundance and growth and prosperity, and this door is going to open up to a blockage to prosperity that we've never experienced before, that doesn't even logically make sense. That doesn't even resonate as truth. Not for me, it doesn't, because my source of abundance comes from me and the divine. My limited potential has always come from me and how my heart is telling me to guiding me to my greatest potential, my limitless sense of worth and value and purpose that's out there. I don't need to stop and wait for this one moment in history in order to access something that the internet is telling me that now I can have unlimited abundance. Me accessing abundance and prosperity and growth was never something that I needed to ask for permission for or wait for a moment in time in history. And definitely not when it's waiting for everybody else. I don't need anybody else to tap into my limitless source, or to tap into source. I just have to wake up on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, whatever day it is, and tap into that energy in order for me to access abundance, growth, attention, whatever it is that I want and need. So if you're asking me, is it normal to feel heavy during a portal like this? If it's not your normal, if it doesn't feel okay, it's not, it doesn't matter if it's normal or not, because normal can go fuck itself. If normal means that, the rest of society is just like, yo, something's going on in the cosmos, it may be normal for them, but it's not normal for you because you're not normal. You're not one of they, you're not one of them. So if it doesn't feel good for you, and if it doesn't feel good, period, it doesn't need to be done. You can fall back and rest, knowing that you are being spiritually protected and that your access to the abundance or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest has not been taken away from you. That's just not for you. So always, yeah, Makesha says, yes, fuck normal. It's not, what is healthy for you? Like, what is healthy for you? Trust that. And I understand right now that we are in a time in history where spiritual beings are rapidly accelerating. Like they're constantly shooting up, you know what I mean? Which, in good, literally and figuratively. So with that being said, you are trying to gain a lot of information in a short amount of time, and it can be easy to be deceived, and it can be easy to be led astray, and it can be easy to lose your faith because you start to follow again certain things that are not from a higher vibration but say that they are, or they try to manipulate you into like using things that are good, and then they start to turn negative. For example, people who post on YouTube, they post on their YouTube channel and they make videos like 1 hour long. We were talking about this last week. They make a video 1 hour long and 11 minutes long, and they cut off their YouTube video at that point. You have to at some point ask yourself, why are they trying to deceive me into watching this video right now? Because the truth is that it was strategy. So it's like, it's not, it doesn't seem malicious. It's not coming from a malicious place. But if you think about it, it's deceptive. It's not coming from a place of authenticity and integrity. And that seems like it's not a big deal. But when you think about it, that repeating numbers were not things that were not sacred. They were at one point sacred. But because we have society using them in order to trick and to capture, then you start to see those repeating numbers when they actually do show up synchronistically, and you start to doubt them or even ignore them, because everything, like American Girl is saying, what has tried to trap you using that same shit. And that becomes a bigger problem. Yes, Lucida says, I never thought of that. That's a good point. Exactly. And some people will look at me and be like, oh, she's hating. I'm not fucking hating. I want everybody to get their bag. I want everybody to be successful. But at what point do you start to question people's integrity and start to question people's authenticity and intentions when you know that they might be good people and you know that they're not doing things for bad, but ultimately it's leading people astray. And it's the small shit, you guys. It's the small shit. It's very manipulative. It's very calculated. It's very like, it's just not, it's not it. It's not the vibe. You're not going to find that from me. And if you see that, right, if you're watching that happen, I want you guys to really ask yourself, why, like, why did they have to do that? Like, why couldn't the message that they were bringing, why couldn't that be enough? Like, why couldn't they just, if the video cuts off at 1 hour and 18 minutes, why is that not good enough? Like, why do you have to then trick me to watching the video? And then it then numbs you throughout time, because you start to just, the things that were once sacred are no longer sacred. And that becomes a bigger problem, especially in a society right now where everything is trying to extract from the spiritual community. They're trying to take away from your faith. And it's not so much the people that are showing up every day on YouTube or in your world or in your communities. It's there because they're it's not that they're under the influence, but they're a part of the bigger picture of this, of what is energetically going on. So they may not even be aware they may not be even aware of what it is that they're under the influence of, because they can't even see it. And yet you're tapping into them and asking them, like, what do I do during this time? Oh, it's the fucking Lionsgate portal. So open up your heart. Bitch, stop right there. Open up your heart by all means. I do that every morning when I wake up. I don't share those details. I share maybe my food. I share certain things that I might be doing that I'm going out, but I will never share the more intimate details, not anymore at least, of when I'm working my magic, when I'm connecting with the universe, because there are energetic trolls out there who are watching and waiting, and they're under the influence of evil intention, or they're trying to lurk. So just stay prayed up, protect yourself, arm yourself. That's literally why I was working with this oil. This is not me marketing, but this is why I was literally working with my oil. And some of the oils that I work with for myself are not going to be available, because I don't want the same things that I'm using to protect myself to be available to everyone on the internet, because I'm a person who's coming on the internet. What's available is strong and it will work for you, but everyone's path is different and the level of availability is different. So it just is what it is. That's why this one's not marked, because I definitely, what the fuck? I'm sorry. Love chat. Excellent. Moderators, where are you? Best adult dating site. I'm gonna put them in timeout. Yeah, you guys are so funny. I love you so much. Okay, guys, literally, part of my French, I'm so sorry. On Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, feel free to do so. I'm only saying that because Instagram's over here on the side. Okay, wait, let me check on my Instagram people, and then I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye. Shawnee Avril says, you just gave me so much to think about. This is good, Jess. Yes, you're welcome. I'm good for that. Slim says, be active on Twitter. No. No. I'll be active on Twitter when I feel ready to be active on Twitter. I tweet when I feel. Oh, they are on the trolls. Good. I appreciate that, you guys. Thank you, moderators. I really appreciate and love you so much. Just Fluff says, fuck Twitter. I like Twitter, but it's not my bread and butter. Like, I post when I feel. I post when it's like a quick message, but I'm not someone who's like trying to use Twitter to like reel people in or anything like that. That's just not how I vibe. Okay. Are you taking new clients? I'm very selective about my clientele right now, just because I don't want to overpromise and overcompensate. The Sunny Soul says, I've been listening since 2018. Yeah, girl, we go way back. Christella says Twitter is so toxic. I haven't felt that way yet, but I'm not on Twitter like that. Twitter makes me laugh. And sometimes when Twitter is like dragging certain things, I think it's kind of funny, but. Aw, see, the Cosmic Conjurer says Twitter has been overused and overworked like rose quartz. But like, you see that? Like, and you're right. But rose quartz has such beautiful energy. But do you see how things have watered it down to the point where you might not even want to work with rose quartz anymore because you keep hearing about it? This is why I'm saying, like, certain things that were once sacred are now being used and abused. But I still carry rose quartz, and I don't give a fuck what other people are doing, because that energy is so lovely. Robert Barger says there's a bunch of trolls tonight. I know. Trolls are going to troll, but that just means that the light is shining. All right, you guys. So please be careful. I do want to tell you guys to slow down this week. Don't get saucy, don't get spicy, unless you want to get punched in the face. You know what I mean? Like, these are, and I'm not going to do it. I'm heeding my own advice, because if there's one thing about me, I got a spicy mouth and I got some attitude. I can be the Queen of Swords upright or reversed. That's what I'll say. So, and for those of you guys that shuffle tarot, like Queen of Swords reversed or upright, she can be tough to deal with. So knowing that this week, I know that I need to cool, calm, and collect myself with my spiciness and with my sauciness, because this is not the week to do that. So just FYI, everyone should be good, but I'm just letting you guys know. That was my last thing that I want to say. If anybody's feeling irritable, now is not the time to fight. If anybody sees their partner doing something stupid, now's not the now this week is not the time to pick at them for that. You will watch and you will witness people that you like, love, pulling away from you. Let them go. It could be a month of them needing to recover and need space for themselves. Give it to them. Do not take it personally. Focus on yourself. Go do something you like. Go set a goal for yourself and hyper focus on that. When Venus enters in the sign of Leo, you're going to start hearing certain things kind of popping off, people popping off at the mouth. Let them say what they got to say and be that supremely poised person of truth and wisdom that I know that you are, that sometimes we have to balance ourselves to be consistently. But that's something that's going to be activated this week. I just want you guys to know that. Also, I did want to say this, and this is the last thing I'll say. There is some level of recklessness that has been happening within the planets, and someone skirting away from responsibility. They may owe you something. They may owe you an apology. They may have been avoiding confronting or facing their feelings, or avoiding facing you. These are things during the full moon will be lit up and activated because they simply cannot live with themselves and the loss of you or the loss of the situation. It just feels too great for them. With Mercury now moving to the sign of Virgo, the thought is there. They're thinking about it. The smaller details are starting to irritate them and annoy them. It's starting to settle in. They're starting to process it. With the sun moving to the sign of Leo, it brings it to the heart space. And they also they're in a more powerful position to look at the ego and how the ego has kind of like derailed them or kept them on the rails, whatever that is, whatever that means for them, or whatever that means for you. With the vertex point sitting in the sign of Leo, that point has been activated on and off. This has to do with fated encounters, fated moments, fated things that you hear, see, observe, witness. So just know that is also happening. Also, keep in mind that a lot of people are fighting with their own need for independence and how they define themselves at this time. So don't take anything personally. And with Uranus sitting on top of the North Node, sitting in the sign of Taurus, this has been 1000% activating and exploding what is valuable to each and every single one of us, not only in physical, tangible things, but also how we show love, how we show up for others, what we are stubborn with. It will break down those walls if your own stubbornness is taking you away from the things that you value the most. For me personally, what I value most is not things that money can buy. So that just says a lot and speaks for itself as far as Uranus moving to the sign of Taurus, again, can represent physical things, but it's also things that money cannot, like it can buy it, but it puts things into perspective when those things are removed from you because that energy doesn't need to sit there. It then goes into, okay, depth. What is the opposite of Taurus? Scorpio. It's about intimacy. It's about connection. It's about soulmates. It's about healing. It's about growth. It's about your transformation. So even though Uranus is sitting in the sign of Taurus, talking about the tangible things, it's when we lose those things that we then start to realize this is good. It's not a bad thing, but in order to balance it off, there needs to be things that have more depth there and things that have more value. So just FYI, there's definitely that. If someone has been facing that with on the 11th, when the full moon happens in the sign of Aquarius, you may hear information from them. It may be blown into their face. They'll take some time to process it, or you're taking time to process it. And when on the 11th, when Venus enters in the sign of Leo, 9 times out of 10, 11/22, 9 times out of 10, you're actually going to hear, it's going to be demonstrated to you. It's going to be shown up for you. It's going to be very loud. It's going to be very clear. It's going to be very obvious. And fingers crossed that it will also be romantic. So I'm sending you guys all of my love. Okay, next week is the 15th of August, and we will be going live once again for Astro Chat Live. We're going to be doing the same thing that we did this week, which is Lindsay Cinderelli. That's a cute name. Cinderelli. I've been saying this for a hot minute. Thank you, universe, for answering my prayers. Absolutely, my love. Keep praying, guys. Set intention. These energies are so fucking stubborn, but you're stubborner. If that's not a word, I just made it a word. The energies of the planets are stubborn, but you're stubborner. And if you stay focused, if you stay driven, if you stay ambitious, you will wear down these stubborn ass energies and you will get to where you need to go. The universe is looking out. And yeah. So next Monday, I want to invite you guys to tune in and join me once again. Um, yeah. Will you ever go to the moon? I fucking hope not. That would suck. That would literally suck. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you later. I'll see you guys next week. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday for the most part. Bye.